Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Virgo December 9, 2022. With today's full moon highlighting retrograde Mars, there can be a temptation to push in order to have your way. However, it's an opportune moment to take the time to feel, learn about, and understand your desires and drives. Frustration can center on intellectual planes, making it best to watch for speaking prematurely or making too much of something said. Impatience can lead to errors in judgment, and something from the past can resurface. Learning matters, news, legal affairs, or the fruition of a project can be in focus. Whether it's a battle of wills or an inner conflict, you can learn from anger or frustration that bubbles up today, and after the heat of the moment passes, you might figure out better ways of pursuing your goals and desires. Today's full moon sings with feisty, fun, and flirty vibes for you. You'll be eager to start fresh, open your wings, and soar in new directions. This full moon trumpets from the heights of your solar ninth house of expansion and may encourage you to pursue long-distance travel with your spouse or sweetheart. Plan a trip now or for later in the year ahead. You'll watch as your mind and spirit open to new ideas, cultures, and individuals. If you are single, try dating outside of your normal type. Someone will entice you and likely provide a perspective you've never known before, ultimately fulfilling you on whole new levels. Reflect on how much you have explored and discovered. The last 6 months have been eye-opening given that your professional journey has led to new opportunities, teachers, learning curves, and more. An educational experience or adventure may stand out in memory as you think about how far you have come during the full moon in Gemini. Since the full moon is ebbing you out of this lunar cycle, you should think about what you can take away from these experiences to apply to your professional path as you continue to move forward. You will handle financial matters with your usual aplomb today and should consider different types of investments. A good idea can mean a successful future. Even if you are just looking for bargains, you'll be able to distinguish between good and bad offers. Take advantage of them before someone else does. The sensitive side of your nature desires what's best for those you love. There is a deep feeling of, "I would die for you," running through you with regard to your loved ones and your children. This intense emotion can be channeled into a more productive vein, caring for your body as though it were a loved one. Taking care of all its needs can be quite satisfying. This is ultimately nurturing for everyone. Your life certainly does depend on your body. If this is a day off for you, fantastic. This day is of your own essence and the need for some rest and relaxation may be so strong that you'll find it impossible to resist. If you have a job that you have to go to, you'll need to make some plans for relaxing this evening. If your schedule is one that you control, consider taking a last-minute day off by rescheduling the things you have to do. Take care of yourself. Right in the heart of the working week, the last and one of the most powerful full moons of 2022 falls in your sector of adventure, travel, learning, and discovery. This is something that can always challenge old excuses, and at a time when there is rarely any planetary activity on the adventurous side of life's fence, and for a few days can give this a serious boost until it is once again forgotten. The difference this time is Mars, and as well as driving a bulldozer through old excuses, this is something he won't let you forget. Today's full moon in an adventurous part of your chart is something that once a year can give the spirit of adventure a boost, but then once the moon moves on, there is nothing to keep this fueled. This time you not only have Mars and his passion for adventure, but his partnership with Saturn in your romantic sector is going to see both get a boost. Our eyes in the sky. The full moon in Gemini is helping us find solutions to our problems right now, but we could have issues figuring out how to make things click. Good ideas could clash with confusion, creating frustration and irritation. Try not to be overly critical of others or yourself right now, and try to avoid giving any unsolicited advice. In the afternoon, your inner perfectionist could come out, and not in the best way. Remember to take things slowly and focus on your breath if you begin to feel overwhelmed by details. There is a need to be aware that today's full moon in your financial sector could come with some financial tension, and some of your emotional responses might be out of proportion. Behind the emotional fog of war is a clash between the moon and Mercury in your financial sector and the sun in your income sector, and the chance this brings to energize both sides of the financial fence. There are many aspects that need to be faced in order to successfully navigate this evening's cosmic climate. Themes around your goals and fantasies, self-awareness, critical thinking, and organization all commingle. The moon is not only still in your financial sector after yesterday's full moon, but there could be just as much tension between both sides of the financial fence. While the moon is no longer clashed with the sun, before leaving it will clash with Venus in her last full day in your income sector. At the same time that Mars is using this to fuel your financial passions and fighting spirit, as the planet of money, Venus knows how to turn financial tension into motivation. When Mars retrograde opposes the Sun, the universe is asking you to meld your dreams with reality in a way that is well thought out and pragmatic. The energy here gives us a rare opportunity to see where change needs to be implemented, but you must overcome your ego in order to see the path ahead. Don't let stubborn ways of thinking or arrogance stop you from seeing your way. In the pre-dawn hours, Ceres in Virgo squares off with Venus in Sagittarius, creating tension between how we give and receive love. Our upbringing or early life conditioning may have taught us that the best way to nurture others is by cleaning up their messes. Our parents might have sought to organize our lives as a mode of care. Equally, they may have been disposed to fault-finding, subtly critiquing our choices and suggesting how to better ourselves. Yet, the love we want to receive is quite different. We want our loved ones to trust us, granting us freedom of movement and allowing us space to make mistakes and learn from them. Today's Ceres-Venus square can cause us to police our partners with good intentions. Having grown accustomed to subtle criticism, it feels safe to us. However, to tackle this dynamic, we must release the compulsion to offer unsolicited advice. We must let our partners be the messy, unpredictable people we fell for in the first place. We are not our partner's parents, and we shouldn't try to be. Professionally, you've everything going for you. If you encounter something unexpected, refrain from making any hasty decisions. Actually, what is needed is calmness and patience. Separate the important from the unimportant. Bring about an adequate solution. Maybe consider a more unconventional approach. Around dawn, the Sagittarius Sun squares off with Juno in Pisces, further exacerbating relational tensions. Our very sense of self seems to be at odds with who we present ourselves to be in committed partnerships. Indeed, we might have agreed to be in a relationship when we were an entirely different person, and we have grown in a direction that is contrary to the vows we made to another. We now have a choice to make. Do we stick it out, clearly address the disconnect, and commit to changing our contract to suit both our own and our partner's needs? Or do we decide to explore our own path? This is not necessarily an aspect of breakups, but it portends a reckoning that necessitates changes within a static partnership dynamic.